good morning and welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. It's a Friday, the 28th day of June, 2024. By His grace, we're live and we're here. We're yet another edition of the show. Our gratitude to go to the Most High God for the rare privilege of being alive and, of course, the opportunity of having another conversation around the top stories making rounds here in our dear Republic. I'll let you into our panel for the morning's conversation shortly, but let's take a look at the front pages of our newspapers. Daily Graphic. National airline plan hits snag. Development impossible without moral values, Apostle Nyamiche. Debt forgiveness will help restructuring efforts, Mahama to South Korean ambassador. Operationalize Ashanti Regional Hospital, Asantehene. GCB post impressive financial results, put recapitalization plans on hold. Daily Guide. 2.37 million euros ambulance case. Jakpa admits receiving 700,000 euros. Government doubles leap cash. Communication Ministry trains over 39,000 in digital skills. U.S. group supports science, maths, education. Cop shot dead. New weekend crusading guide. Jakpa admits under cross-examination ambulance contract had no parliamentary approval. Ghana Publishing Company extends to Ashanti, calls on Otunfo, donates to Konfanochi Teaching Hospital project. Traditional ruler accuses police officers of human rights abuse. NAPO woos global energy giants to come and invest in Ghana's energy sector. Socialist Movement Ghana condemns use of brute force on Kenyan protesters. Smart cities concept shows government committed to sustainability, Deputy Minister. The Insight. Mine GTP will turn graduates into businessmen, Alan Cash assures. Protest over tax hikes. Socialist Movement Ghana declares solidarity with Kenyans over IMF imposed economic austerity. Communication and Digitalization Ministry creates over 15,000 jobs as it trains thousands in digital skills. Embrace and promote peace. Accra Zongo chief to youth as he marks annual Durban. Election 2024. Imani urges government, political parties to commit to renewable energy. The Herald. How Akumsin quoted multiple prices for 307 one constituency, one ambulance. $40.831 million at $133,000 each, and $54.339 million at $177,000 each. Dami steps into Jakpa's venomous ring, got schooled on ISO certificate. Inus Afuseni refers Dubai properties matter to lawyers. Baumia presents Napo as running mate amid preferences and objections. Akufo-Addo cutting $5 million for Bedi Eto's daughter's musical party. The Informer. Elections 2024. Akufo-Addo warns troublemakers. Minister calls bluff of cement manufacturers. Government calls for investment in electric vehicles. I won't take president's words to bank. Fifi Kwete. Health alert. Stay away from alcohol and cigarettes. Nutritionist advises public. The Inquisitor. Who partners Baumia? Why Napo is unique? Miracles. Abuaji says process to select running mates not finalized. Parliament ratifies Ghana Bauxite Company's mining lease. Sikia Penuvo makes case for Agoti Mekente. Kotuka International Airport Terminal 3 depleting under dormitory. Standogbe. The Daily Statesman. MPs didn't approve ambulance deal, Jakpa admits. NSS warns against scammers. New GA-MSME classification launched after 30 years. Minister woos global investors for energy sector. Ghana Publishing Company expands with new branch in Ashanti region. The Ghanaian Publisher. ADBMD Lord's Government's Financial Inclusion Agenda. Church of Jesus Christ renovates schools in Accra. Complete stalled hospital projects. Otunfo charges minister. AG tenders Jakpa's dismissal letter and evidence. MPs ratify Ghana Bauxite deal. The New Finder. 65% of 15 to 24-year-olds jobless, while unstable low-income jobs dominate. Energy Minister calls for global investment in Ghana. Jakpa's dismissal letter from Ghana Army admitted in court. Ministry calls for calm amid management dispute at Adamus Resources. Alarming rise in alcohol consumption among children spares mental health crisis. Daily Post. Mahama thanks South Korea for forgiving Ghana's debt. I was fit when AG asked me to secure fake excuse duty, Jack tells court. Ensure free and fair elections, Professor Opoku Agyemang Electoral Commission. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, not the right running mate for Baumia, NPP MP, and Diapi Akubi. It will be a blessing for NPP if the party loses election 2024. Kwesi Pratt. The Catholic Standard. Let's end destructive Galamsey menace. Archbishop Kofi. ICGC Awards, Father Campbell. Education programs must be consistent. Bishop James Fee. Stop killing the earth with plastics. Priest urges Ghanaians. Cardinal Napier calls on African synod delegates to be radical images of God. And editorial. Artificial intelligence, terrifying or creative double-edged tool. And that's about it. For the front pages, we'll be back shortly.
Okay, that is what we are saying. You had said earlier on, yes, that you don't want to see members of parliament impeaching a president.
Yes.
That should be left to the people.
The people, yes.
Do it themselves.
Yes.
But aren't you alive to the provisions of Article 1?
Yes, I am alive to it.
That allows the public, the people,
Yes.
power
Yes.
to elect their representatives.
The wording which is used in that given article, Learned Council, if I may, if you look at the sovereignty of the people, it says that all powers, all sovereign powers belongs to the people of Kenya and shall be, underline the wording shall, mandatory, be exercised only in accordance with this constitution. The people may, optional, may, optional. That is it, Your Honor.
No, complete it,
May exercise their sovereignty power either directly or through their democratically elected. So the wording, the conjunction may, I apply one.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah, a common sense interpretation of the Kenyan Constitution. Anyway, sovereignty lies with the people. Anyway, okay, all right. So if you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. And with me on the show this morning, I have the Member of Parliament, the Honorable Member of Parliament for the Anyanso Utum constituency, Dr. Dixon Adumaku Kisi. Doc, good morning.
Morning.
Also with me on the show this morning is the citizens prosecutor.
That's a very decent title.
The Honorable Member of Parliament for the Northern constituency, ranking member, Foreign Affairs Committee, and the citizens prosecutor, Samuel Kujato Ablakwa. Samuel, good morning.
All right, good morning, Doc.
Okay.
Looks like every week I earn a new title.
So you are now the OSP. You are from the OSP, Office of the
Special
OCP, Office of the Citizens Prosecutor.
Oh, okay.
In the Parliament of Ghana.
How are you?
I'm well. I'm doing well. Good to see you.
Are you
Doc,
able
good
to
to see you.
Yeah. Are you able to sleep?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah. 3 hours is enough.
Is enough for you?
Yeah.
It's not because you're scared.
That's all I need. Oh no, because there are lots of documents.
It's not out of fear.
No, not at all. There's lots of work to
review.
Do. Lots to review. And the scandals are just so many. So many. It's even, you don't finish one, and there are so many. So we've had to draw up a calendar on how to put them out. It's crazy. Really, really hectic.
When he says
never seen a
one day
government
one
like
scandal.
this. Yeah, never seen a government like this.
So you have new ones coming up.
Yes. At least 15 new ones.
15.
Yeah, already. So the challenge now is, can you put all out before the elections? Because some will also require parliamentary work, and we are coming to the end of this 8th parliament. So. But we'll see. Because
so you now have to prioritize.
Yeah,
I'm curious to know the true classification of what his scandals are, because that also matters.
Okay.
Because
Are they financial scandals?
They cause financial loss to the state.
Okay.
Yeah, all of them do.
Okay.
All of them. And there's a clear state capture at play.
State capture.
State capture.
So if
massive looting, particularly of lands,
if
all over the country,
I stand to be corrected.
Yeah.
If bad decisions that are quote unquote genuine causes financial loss to the state, would that be still a scandal? Because some managerial decisions done in error may not necessarily be scandalous.
So far, you've seen all of what we have put out. You can't, by any stretch of imagination, say that people had good intentions or just
no, I didn't say intentions, but
a managerial slip. I mean, clearly,
clerical errors.
People are setting out to loot.
But these are not clerical
setting
errors.
out to loot.
All right. Okay. So we'll come and do some digging soon. But
yeah. No mining, no.
We'll try.
Okay.
We'll try. We'll try.
You don't have a mining background.
I don't.
I'm trying to get a geological survey to confirm if there's some precious minerals. So I can start digging in the studio. Anyway, well, if you're thinking of getting toothpaste that will take care of your entire family and save you some money, the recommended family toothpaste is KEL 360 toothpaste, and it's approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. It provides you and your family with all-round dental protection throughout the day with freshness. KEL 360 toothpaste is good for kids, children, and adults. Let your family be a proud family when they step out by constantly using KEL 360 toothpaste. It brightens your teeth, prevents cavity, and with its cool mint gives you fresh breath throughout the day and protects the gum from decaying. For consistency and quality, use KEL 360 toothpaste. KEL 360 toothpaste is another product from Samara Company Limited, producers of Sasso. It's available in all supermarkets, malls, and provision shops. You can call Samara Company on 0246 864 798. KEL 360 toothpaste, happy smile. And enjoying the fruits of your labor is as important as enjoying the mansions of your labor. And the pains of climbing the stairs when not exercising could be challenging, irrespective of your age. But worry no more. Lifts and elevators have got you covered with the best portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators on the market today. It's a simple self-supported elevator for both homes and offices, and guess what? It can lift your goods too. Wheelchairs can fit in, and they come in 3 custom-made models. It's affordable and can be installed within 3 days. Visit Lift and Elevators at Sakumon, or just call them on 0200-535-515, or send a mail to elevatorsgh@gmail.com for consultations and the best solutions in easy vertical movement. Okay. Now, the Institute of Paralegal Training and Leadership Studies, in collaboration with Ghana National Association of ADR Practitioners and ADR International Register, an ISO certified body, is offering internationally recognized industry-driven conflict resolution and other specialized courses in the following programs: Professional Executive Master in Alternative Dispute Resolution, Professional Executive Masters in General Paralegal Studies, Professional Executive Master in Chieftaincy Law and Sustainable Development Practice, Professional Executive Master in Industrial and Labor Relations and Practice, Professional Executive Master in Family Law and Conflict Resolution. Now, they have an exceptional team of facilitators who are well versed in their subject areas and are ready to equip participants with the skills they need to influence industry in the right direction. Individuals trained in ADR by them qualify for admission into the prestigious membership of the Ghana National Association of ADR Practitioners. For admission, you can call the Institute of Paralegal Studies on 0303 960798, or you can WhatsApp them on 0509 634027, or by email ipls.edu.gh@gmail.com. Okay. Doc, let's start off with this story. A concerning trend has emerged from the latest Ghana Human Development Report, which highlights that half of the doctors trained in Ghana are now seeking employment abroad, driven away by substandard working conditions. The report, titled "The Future Value of Work in Ghana," cautions that the nation's healthcare system is on the brink of deterioration if the ongoing departure of medical professionals is not curbed. The United Nations Development Programme, in collaboration with the Statistical Service and the National Development Planning Commission, authored the report. So UNDP, the Ghana Statistical Service, and the NDPC. It reveals that alongside the 50% of migrating doctors, 24% of nurses trained in Ghana have also migrated for similar reasons. This alarming exodus has placed the health sector in jeopardy, necessitating immediate policy and practical interventions to prevent a complete collapse. Despite Ghana's health system's resilience during the COVID-19 pandemic, it continues to grapple with significant challenges, including shortages of essential supplies like personal protective equipment and a dwindling pool of qualified personnel. The Future of Work report emphasized the need for strategic implementation to meet the evolving health demands of the population, which are becoming increasingly complex due to environmental factors, demographic shifts, and lifestyle changes. Ghana's health policy has identified 11 critical areas needing reinforcement, with health promotion, palliative, and rehabilitative care falling behind preventive and curative services. The report advocates for a health promotion approach that emphasizes primary health care and environmental concerns, which can significantly impact human capital development. Furthermore, the report suggests adopting a life course approach to healthcare delivery, catering to diverse population segments, including the elderly, persons with disabilities, and marginalized individuals in urban slums. This approach aims to ensure that all groups can access and benefit from both curative and preventive healthcare services. The stark reality of the situation calls for decisive action to retain the nation's medical talent and safeguard the future of Ghana's healthcare system. Now, this one, what alarms me is that is zero saying it's not about Ghanaian trained doctors, but it's about doctors trained in Ghana. And we are losing half of these doctors.
Yeah.
Half, 50%.
In fact, let me first of all, as usual, greet your viewers who are worldwide in nature and locally, both our constituency and all people watching. I think I've said it elsewhere that, we used to do slave trading and work on farms in Brazil, North America, the UK, and other places. But now I call it a health farm. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, this time round, we're not going in handcuff, but it is our system that is rather driving people out. And it's quite unfortunate. It is the reality. I won't sit here and say this report is in error. And I've spoken to some of our colleagues who are in the UK now, and one of them, her point to me was that staying in Ghana is rather slavery. Because I was telling her that when you leave the country, I think that you're going to a health farm, where you're rather going to serve, the Western world. At your own volition, you are going, unlike before where they were using us for hard labor on plantations. Now it's a health plantation. And when she said that working here was rather slavery, I felt really sad about it. Because why would she say that? Truth be told, health workers in the Western world are better off. And everything comes down to conditions of service. And I think that we have done some, but more has to be done. And
The report refers to substandard working conditions.
yes, but I must admit, my dad told me that he's one of the few that walked to Nkrumah back in the early,
60s. Late 50s.
late 50s, to make a demand for working material in Kolebu's theater.
Okay.
He's a trained surgeon, and that is how bad it was then. They couldn't get even decent gloves to put on to operate, and I think that we are better now, though we could do far better, and I think that the story of locking up our toilets at the hospital, these are the unfortunate bits where, a health center like Kolebu will lock up toilets for patients, and sometimes they get accidents. You're trying to go to the bathroom, we can't find the key, and all these kinds of things, or you have to pay. I think in one breath, Ghana has moved forward, but in another breath, our thinking needs to be re-examined. And quite frankly, the truth of the matter is that, Kolebu was built for a smaller population of this country. And why have we not imagined other Kolebus? Yesterday, I heard the Ashanti region touting the idea of creating a regional hospital for Ashanti region. Must we wait till 2024 after, independence? It's unfortunate. And I think that even people in authority, and hear me carefully, still need further managerial training to appreciate how we make our decisions.
So let me ask you
for
this.
the country.
You practiced as a doctor in America.
Of work, yeah.
Yes. Now, I don't know if I'm correct, but politics brought you back to Ghana.
To a large extent,
Okay.
yeah.
It presupposes that but for politics, medical practice won't have brought you to Ghana at the time you came.
And my parents. My parents are a big deal. I felt that I needed to spend time with my parents.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think that, listen, I've experienced both.
Yeah, in your
worlds.
case,
Yeah.
there's even a private practice.
Yes.
For
So
you
that,
to come and deal
that
with.
helps.
So
me.
that's different. But
Yeah.
assuming you didn't have that private practice, would you?
I'll just,
What would have brought you?
right now, I think is the frimpons of the world.
No, but
if you look at
what I want to understand is what is it that we've got wrong? Because if we all travel,
it won't be our priority.
we all travel and we look at the premium that is placed on health professionals,
Correct.
even at the lowest level
Yes.
of healthcare.
Nurses.
At the lowest level
Yes.
of healthcare.
Yes.
Those who perhaps don't even have
Even the security for health facilities.
those who don't even have medical training.
Correct.
Say.
CNAs,
Yes.
Certified Nurse
Yes.
Assistants.
Yes. So
Yeah.
what is it that does not make us here elevate healthcare to a certain level?
I think I would also blame our citizens, because in the Western world, they put a premium on health when it comes to elections. So if you think about it, Obamacare was largely about healthcare, insurance, and all of that. So the members of parliament, the executive, are a reflection of the people. And I believe that if Ghanaians should make healthcare the key determining factor for elections, for instance, 2024, then nobody will tell you the candidate, be it Mahama, be it Baumia, that, hey, with this election, based on the polls, based on the voters' sentiments, if healthcare is not in your message, forget it. So I think that Ghanaians should learn to be more demanding. I'm not saying they don't demand, but we the voters have to make a strong case that if you are bringing no bed syndrome, if you are making it difficult, and listen, sometimes people don't like me when I say it, but I have patients who get to Kolebu and they are told there's no bed. Then they go to Ridge, no bed. 37, no bed. And when are we going to stop this? When are we going to demand that that thing should stop? That I can arrive at the hospital and be told that it isn't that we don't have doctors, it isn't that we don't have nurses, but there's no bed. I mean, it's mind-boggling. And this one, Ablakwa was a cut across. Mahama's time it was there. Our time is still there. And it's not. I'm not talking necessarily partisan politics about this, but I think that we need to reorient ourselves and think carefully about this problem and how we solve it. Because, there's nothing as unfortunate, because a professor of medicine can be at a facility, but without the necessary accoutrements, he will have to refer the case. And that means that the accoutrements are very important. It complements the knowledge you have. And that's why we need to be very serious. And I would say that I always admire the Japanese model where the finance minister is the health minister. Oh. And it reflects in Japan's health care. Yes, it reflects in their health. I think the longest living, life expectancy is in Japan because the health minister is the finance minister. That means that no matter what the metrics, or as you say, the how to measure his performance, or the health performance of the nation depends on you, the finance minister, and not necessarily, a de facto health minister. So we need to reprioritize health and maybe learn to follow suit in terms of the Japan model. And let me add that we make a lot of case for health. I mean, if, for instance, everything we are paying towards NHIS at the ports, at wherever, goes not to the consolidated fund, and then goes straight towards our health in this country, I'm sure by now
that if you look at our releases and utilization of the health insurance levy, I mean, it clearly tells you what our priorities are.
Yeah, and this is what the average Ghanaian needs to make a case for, and that pushes us.
Yes.
Why
would you tell us that healthcare is so important that we need to levy every Ghanaian? We need to pay VAT specifically for health
and NHIS.
And then, and then when you take the levy, in some cases, even 20% of the money that you have taken will not go, and you
COVID.
Use it for other things.
And even COVID.
Yes.
So this is what I think, the average Ghanaian.
Because I know, we cannot compete in terms of wages.
No.
But I'm sure that the healthcare professionals are not asking for that.
Yeah.
But something a bit more.
Your work environment adds to how you deliver. And I think Okoboy made it very clear this week when he was in Kumasi. And he said that, and he was very clear that sometimes your satisfaction is not necessarily just your pay, but where you are working. And he was talking in regards to some construction in Kumasi, and it's so true.
Look, I was at Konfanochi with the Black Stars a few weeks ago, And I was listening to my friend, the CEO, Professor. What have I forgotten?
Man
his
in
name?
glasses.
Yes.
Tall, slim guy. I've also forgotten.
Yes. Look, and the revelations, what we heard about Convanochi. I mean, the fact that from when that hospital was constructed, government has not made any significant
infrastructure
improvements at the place.
except for this new
Now
maternity.
we got just when you enter, there's a place there. They're supposed to have, I think, six people or so, like a ward.
It's like 12 now.
No, like 40 something.
Yeah. And that's why.
So you see the overcrowding hits you from the very entrance. Once you enter. You open the first swing door. You enter. The place is overcrowded. Even before you go on the stairs.
And you see, Arlington Cemetery in the U.S. budget is drawn for a decade moving forward, and that is for the dead. And we are here. There's no plan in place for our growing population and our hospitals and all of that. And this is for the living. Somebody is planning for the dead and how they'll bury them, where they'll place them, and making sure the grass is green for the dead. And this is our lack of proper planning in this country. And this one is not political. It's both parties which have run this country.
Yeah, Professor Chia Diamond, sir.
For yes, that's right.
Yes.
Fantastic guy.
Yes.
And I commend him for his drive, fundraising. And then, in all of this too, let me say that the Oyibo man can part with a lot of money for health, which we don't do in our culture. So you'd go to a hospital and the Okujatos
will part with money for procurement.
Will part
procurement gigs
with a lot of money for a ward, and be named after Okujato, so that instead of doing rallies and demonstrations, that money would have gone towards a ward or a child's surgery. So I think next time, before he plans another demonstration, he should consider a children's ward or something.
Do you know Dr. Kisi of Deseret Hospital?
I do.
You do?
I do.
I hear is an extremely strict man.
Oh, yes. He went to Adisendel, went to Legon, and then, Manchester. So, he's done well. Okay. I know him.
Prosper Shikwe, who's watching, he sent me that.
Oh, I see.
Because your dad is a very strict man.
Yes. Only I didn't take after him in strictness.
Sammy? It looks like God has a way of forgiving our stupidity.
Hey.
Yeah, but for how long will God be forgiving us and only us in this part of the world?
Well, His mercies are endless.
I want to commend you for raising this matter, because it is about human life. It is about our collective health, our collective survival. If you look at our doctor-to-population ratio or doctor-to-patient ratio, the last time the Minister for Health put out the numbers in Parliament, we were nowhere near the WHO standard of 1 doctor to 1,000 patients or citizens. That is the standard. The Minister for Health told us that we are doing 1 to 6,355. I have seen a latest article in the African Journal of Management Research published by Liliane of the University of Ghana, who argues that the situation is even worse. This 1 is to 10,440 for doctors. Can you imagine? Nurses, 1 is to 7,000. If you go to a place like the Upper East region, 1 is to 23,000. It's even worse. Worse in the Volta region. So we already do not have enough of these doctors and nurses.
Let me read these two messages to you. So, this one from Kwaku Nuopo.
Yeah.
It says, I visited Kita Government Hospital yesterday in the evening.
Yeah.
It's a pity what I saw. No bed sheets, no bed pans. A patient being admitted was asked to bring her cover cloth to be spread on a bare mattress for her. When she wanted to spit out sputum collected in her mouth, they were asked to look for a tin, can or anything from anywhere for the admitted woman. Checking from the male ward, it was the same scenario. Explanation given by a male nurse on duty was that because it was close to the weekend, laundry staff were off duty, hence the shortage. It's a pity a whole district hospital hasn't got enough bed sheets to go around on a weekend, if not on other days. The least said about health insurance, the better. People are paying for everything. It says healthcare is at rock bottom throughout all government hospitals. Keta Hospital is only a tip of the iceberg through no fault of theirs. So despite all the support philanthropists give, this is what we have. And Proper Ashikwe says, it's just not a matter of no bed syndrome situation. It's also a no medical officers and experts situation. An attitude as a people saddled by horrible leadership conundrum. During the June 3 disaster, I packed about 7 hurt and bent people in my Ford Escape. Went through Adabraka Polyclinic to reach hospital and ended up at 37. Nobody was willing to even attend to us. The people around were just helpless. It's leadership. It's us as a people and the way we think. There is the need for some overhaul. I wonder what will happen if we confront a disaster of national proportions. It's sickening.
He couldn't have put it any better. Look, Doc, you recall that only a few weeks ago, I did an analysis of our health budget. What we have prioritized, what the policymakers think should be the priority in the health sector moving forward. I was shocked to discover that only this year, 2024, we are going to spend a whopping 2.67 billion Ghana cedis on duplicative so-called digitalization initiatives. Very duplicative, very nebulous, very amorphous, very hazy, which cannot be a priority. When you have a health sector, that common bed is an issue. Bed sheet. We are not even talking about the MRIs yet. We are not talking about X-ray machines yet. Beds, incubators, defibrillators. Let me read to you some of the things that have been prioritized. Biometric ID cards and authentication system will be spending 405.7 million this year on biometric ID cards. That is the priority of the policymakers. Management information system, 343.92 million Ghana cedis. Capturing of claims data, 112 million Ghana cedis. So it is not that we don't have money in this country or money for the health sector. It is what the money is being used for. Ministry of Health e-health solution provider, 80 million Ghana cedis this year. That's how much will be paid. This has been paid already when I tracked the Give Me system a few days ago. Claims processing centers and e-claims, 76 million Ghana cedis. Archival system and document management, 38.58 million. Telecare services platform, 30 million Ghana cedis. Transfer of data from NIA to Ghana Health Service, 10 million Ghana cedis. E-pharmacy, 11 million Ghana cedis. All of this comes at a time that we already have another digitalization contract called the Lightwave contract. $100 million. $100 million. Lightwave. It's
Which
also
does what?
virtually all these things that we are paying for. E-healthcare. They say they are digitalizing records.
Yes.
And putting everybody on some
You think that there's duplicity?
A lot of duplicity.
In order to
yes,
fleece the system.
exactly. And in addition to what Lightwave is doing, $100 million, a few weeks ago, I revealed how Baumia Manifesto Committee member had been given a sole source contract, $18.4 million, to come and do the same thing. Spectrum Fiber, a company called Spectrum Fiber.
In the health sector.
In the health sector. 245 million at the time. A few weeks ago, the exchange rate. Now it will be worse because of the further depreciation of the currency. $18.4 million to do what Lightwave is doing and all of this that they are going to pay for. So when you continue this way, what will be left for beds?
So the Ministry of Health is spending some money on digitalization
E-health
of the health sector.
Of the health sector.
NHI is also spending
same thing. Same digitalization of the health sector. That is the gig now in the health sector. Everybody is looking for one digitalization contract or the other. And they are jumping over themselves. Duplication. I have obtained all the contract documents, and you'll be shocked. One of the companies that I put out said, oh, you haven't heard our side. As for us, we've won a contract genuinely, even though it's single source. We want to tell you our side of the story. I said, no problem. I went to listen with my witnesses, some colleagues, because I don't meet these people alone. I don't want anybody to say that I have been influenced. They did a PowerPoint presentation. Then I showed them the Lightwave contract.
When was that?
A few weeks ago. In a certain law chamber. Then they considered that, yes, what we are going to do, yes, these people are doing, but please don't blame us. As for us, we saw the advert. And
I need clarification.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that
duplication.
Ministry of Health gave them this contract.
Yes, the Ghana Health Service. To come and do what is already being done.
By NHI.
By another company. Same under Ministry of Health.
Wait. Ghana Health Services is under Ministry of Health.
Yes.
But what I need to be clear, based on what you're saying, is that the ministry itself has given a contract, and then Ghana Health Services has also given a contract for the same thing.
The same thing, yes. The same thing. So you have $100 million contract, which is already running since 2018. Then, this year, these people are also taking off with their $18.4 million contract.
So
is
the other one complete?
No,
it's
because still running.
ongoing.
It's ongoing. It's ongoing.
I don't have the facts, so
I'll share all the documents with you.
I will.
And you know, this matter has come up in Parliament. And when we had Committee of the Whole to look at the NHIA budget, we flagged this issue. The Speaker of Parliament instructed that, look, we must set up a special committee because the duplication is frightening on just IT projects in the health sector. Then they told us that they also noticed it and called for an audit.
Who said that?
The Director General of the
Ghana
NHIA.
Health Service. Okay,
And then the Health Service. They were all there.
Okay.
And that a certain special audit has been started to look into this. So they would urge us to wait for that report, you know. But indeed, only 2 weeks ago, the Honorable Agoja reminded the Speaker and the House that this matter is pending. Because we can't continue to have this situation. And Honorable Agboja had a near-death situation, you remember, during COVID.
Yes.
So he's very passionate about the health sector. It's just miraculous. If we didn't have UGMC, and God bless Professor Mills and President Mahama, only God knows where
Not the doctors.
where Honorable Agboja will be.
Not the doctors.
We are talking about conditions of service for doctors. Of course, God bless the doctors too. But the doctors, we are just all here agreeing that doctors need the right investments to stay in Ghana and work. So if you have this situation where billions and billions of Ghana cedis, and this is what aches my heart, what we prioritize in this country, what we spend our money on. I don't want to provide a tall list of other things that we have thrown millions and billions of Ghana cedis. That hole, that world's most expensive hole, that we have spent $58.1 million to
Must we
date.
go there today?
Do you know how many Agenda 11 hospitals it can give you? And you see, these doctors, we speak to them on a daily basis. They'll tell you that they are not looking for how much their colleagues are earning abroad. That's not what they are looking for. They don't want necessarily to be on the same scale. But just give us good conditions. Give us the tools to work. I mean, don't send us off into a death trap. And when they go home, some of them tell us they can't sleep because they get flashbacks. They are traumatized about people's lives they could have saved. They know very well that this patient who died today, if we had a certain basic equipment, that patient would not have died. So they can't sleep. They are traumatized. Look, we all have friends. Sometimes they call you, look, we are doing a collection. These equipments have broken down in these government hospitals, but there's a private hospital somewhere. So if you can contribute, also send us some money so that this poor patient, we can transfer the patient to a private facility so he or she can remain alive. It's happening on a daily basis. How can we be living in this country where our foremost hospitals, have you been to 37 lately? Do you know the MRI at 37 has not been working for months? 37. Our foremost military hospital. And that is the hospital of the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. The President's Hospital. MRI. The last time a constituent of mine was sent there, intensive care unit, and I'm glad the doctor is here. I was told that ideally, a patient like that who has not been stabilized, we don't have to be moving the patient in an ambulance to another private facility for an MRI scan. It's very dangerous.
Listen to this.
But they don't have a choice because their MRI is not working.
Listen, so one of our viewers, Moses, has sent me this. It's quite a heart-wrenching one. He says, my son was rushed at midnight to the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. The doctors on duty requested a scan and recommended a facility at Accra, Newtown.
See?
Where the scan could be done. Long and short, he died on the way in his car. I don't understand why the facility doesn't have modern equipment for quick diagnosis for the doctors to administer treatment. And there's a health worker who also sent one and said that I'm a health worker. My friend in Konfanochi Teaching Hospital is virtually running an entire ICU alone. All the ICU nurses have gone outside.
Yeah. Doctors tell us that you close from work, you cannot be sure how many nurses you meet the next day when you report. They are living in droves. All of us in our constituencies, they have left.
This says that a lot of my colleague medical doctors are leaving because of the exchange rates. This is a doctor. It says the deteriorating exchange rates makes us uncompetitive on the world stage. Let's just say that 10,000 Ghana cedi salary of a Ghanaian doctor translates to just about $3,000 to $4,000. Living in this country is so unattractive. Even in the face of the other challenges such as lack of equipment, we shall stay and make the system work.
Look, we have to commend the UNDP, the Statistical Service, and then the NDPC. I almost even forgot that the NDPC is around. If really this country had its long-term planning, visionary leadership at play, NDPC should be the most resourced. NDPC should be at the center of even our budgeting, what we prioritize, what we spend on, even our HR plan. Doc, the other perspective that I want to bring to bear, now that it has emerged that all of these countries cherish the quality of health practitioners we have in Ghana. Because if we're not training good practitioners, they will shut the door at us. Look at the number of adverts all over, from UK, Canada, the United States, many countries, luring Ghanaian health practitioners. Is this not a golden opportunity to have a policy that will make it a brain gain and not a brain drain? A win-win situation.
More without compromising on the quality.
You already have an unemployment crisis, 14.7%. There are so many qualified people. 8 A's. They say that you still have to go and do entrance exams, interview, and all of that. And we cut off people. I was shocked when the war started in Ukraine, and I went there as ranking member of the Foreign Affairs Committee. The number of Ghanaian students I saw there, I had no idea that those were the numbers. Huge.
Training as doctors.
Training as doctors in Ukraine.
And Russia.
You know, so where is the policy? Look at how Cuba has run its economy despite the sanctions. They have made it a great policy. They go into all kinds of bilateral and multilateral agreements. They have a policy. You sign, your Ministry of Health and their Ministry of Health, and something comes to the country as your citizens are benefiting from the doctors they have trained. Here, we are just looking on. The people are leaving. We are not benefiting. We are not even looking out for them. If you have a policy that regulates this arrangement, it even guarantees the improved welfare of the people when they arrive there. Do you know there are some agencies now taking advantage of the system? Some are even ending up at wrong places. They arrive in the countries and they don't have good terms. The agents rather are benefiting more than the health practitioners. So government should step in. And then you are now able to train more. You are addressing your unemployment rate. You are building your human resource database. And then you're also benefiting academically and economically, as a country. But we appear to be looking on helplessly. How long will we look on? Will we allow this to continue? We wake up one day. Because look at the numbers. Very frightening. That 50% of doctors are gone already. 24% of nurses. That's a quarter of the nurses we have in our country are already gone. I mean, how long are we going to look on? And you see, what is even concerning is that when you meet ambassadors and high commissioners from these countries, the receiving countries, they even feel bad for us. So they are even informing us now that they are beginning to impose quotas, and they are beginning to say that, look, some countries, we've had enough. And Ghana is in that category. Recently, in a meeting with the UK High Commissioner,
they think too many of our professionals are leaving.
They've taken too many, so they are feeling bad. So they say that they are imposing restrictions now so that others can come from other, because they need it for their NHS. They need the exodus to continue. But they look at the numbers, and the number of people who have come in from Ghana, they are feeling bad. Even they are feeling bad. So what are we doing about it? What's our policy response? How do we, stop the hemorrhage, take advantage of what must continue, have a certain quota system? Then how do we make sure that that also transforms the training. You know, this country, I have heard Professor Frimpong Boateng say time without number, that he was not an all A's, straight A's student. He missed an opportunity here if he hadn't gone to Germany, you know, and yet
he would not have become a doctor.
He would not have become a doctor if he was here. And yet, see the great surgeon he became. It is because of lack of space, really.
Yes.
Lack of space.
Yes.
That is why we subject our students to all of these ordeals. And I recall when we were in the University of Ghana, some people even went crazy. I don't want to mention their names here. You know, medical or suicide. That was the nickname, what we used to call it. Come and do biological science 1 year and everything to get in. Very brilliant, sharp guys. We knew them from secondary school. You know, Presec is one of the schools that trains a lot of doctors, you know, a lot of science students. So we know them, you know. But because of space, they can't get in. Is this not a golden opportunity to expand access, you know, and then have a policy that addresses
last year we were even here
our not meeting the WHO standards.
The situation of those who even found their way out and paid for their medical education are back here, and there's supposed to be some exam that they're supposed to write to be accredited to do.
And they are being frustrated.
They're being frustrated.
Particularly those from Cuba. Yeah, they are being frustrated. Meanwhile, you need them. You need them. Do you know what is even happening now? For the first time in our country's history, I was shocked when a young graduate doctor approached me and said that, do you know that now we stay at home waiting to be posted? I mean, it used to be automatic. Now doctors graduate and they are home 5 months, 6 months, 7 months. So some have to now look for some, you know...
Not nurses, doctors.
Doctors. Can you believe that? A country that has this horrible doctor to population ratio of over 10,000. WHO says it should be 1,000. And then doctors are sitting at home 6 months, 7 months, 8. We can't make an exception for graduate doctors. Is that what we are saying? How many are they? How many are they? Meanwhile, this payroll that some people say they are protecting. Look at the thousands of ghosts we catch every day. We've given IT contract, digitalization contract. Every year, big contract.
You've been catching ghosts or ghost names.
You didn't read a statement from the OSP?
No, ghost or ghost names.
The OSP, one of his greatest achievements this year is the number of ghosts
names
he has arrested on our payroll. And yet we've been spending billions before I was born on catching these ghosts. These ghosts never disappear. And when real human beings, doctors, have graduated, they are at home. The doctors who did how do they call them, PharmDs, pharmaceutical doctor of pharmacy. They also have a crisis. They've been home for several months. They've sent me petitions. I mean, what's going on?
Even the
what's
assistants.
going on in this country? Yeah. As for the nurses, so many of them waiting to be posted. The people that we really need. And then we are paying ghosts. We are paying ghosts.
Have you seen the statement from the nursing and midwifery students? Have you seen?
No,
about the allowance
they've issued a statement.
Oh, it's part of the papers.
Why? Baumia didn't pay all the allowances.
No.
I thought they were assured by the vice president.
Is there what urgent issues regarding the training nurse midwife allowances? In light of the recent developments concerning the training nurses and midwives allowances, the Ghana Nurse Midwife Trainees Association, GNMTA, wishes to acknowledge the part payment made to some members of our association. Specifically, first, second, and third year trainees have received allowances for 5 months, 6 months, and 5 months respectively. So first year got 5 months, second year got 6 months, and then third year got 5 months. It says, however, it is with great concern that we bring to the public's attention and that of the Ministry of Health, the government and all relevant stakeholders that a promised payment schedule has not been fully honored, as stated by the Honorable Minister of Health. The 2022 batch was scheduled to receive the arrears on May 23, followed by the 2023 and other batches. Regrettably, these payments have not been made. Furthermore, we must highlight that, and listen to this carefully, the 2017 to 2020, 2018 to 2021, 2019 to 2022 and 2020 to 2023, these are those who have graduated, have yet to receive any portion of their allowances. This situation is unacceptable and warrants immediate attention. The reinstatement of the training nurses allowance was a significant and commendable decision aimed at supporting our members during their crucial training period. However, the current delays undermine this objective, causing undue financial strain and demoralization among trainees who rely on these funds for their sustenance and academic needs.
Look, so what was the point in a lot of the political grandstanding that trainee allowances have been restored and then it cannot be paid?
A part of it.
Look at the struggle. Only a few have received some money.
So those who have,
some have graduated.
Those who have graduated, no allowance, no job.
And yet, look, we took a difficult but nationalistic decision when I was at the Ministry of Education, that we look at the numbers. Because of these allowances, finance ministers from time immemorial introduced what was known as the quota system. So we are talking right now about the number of nurses we need to meet the WHO standard, so that we can even take advantage of this, exodus and have a policy and all of that. If you don't train more, that can't happen. So you have a crisis because of allowances. They say limit. So every year, the Minister of Finance will send the Ministry of Education a letter. This year, this is how many of your trainees we can absorb based on our revenue projections and the state of the economy. So we said that, why keep so many young people at home? Destroy their future. When you can abolish this quota system, let the colleges of education, the nursing training institutes, absorb at full capacity, admit as many students as they can. And then rather, let us regulate the school fees. Make sure that you meet Prempark and Co. Get at the time NCTE to have a certain policy where fees cannot go up in any academic year beyond 10%. Regulate the fees. Also make sure that you provide feeding. And then you do away with the allowances so that more can come in. You abolish the quota system. We were crucified. We were vilified. I remember going to a college of education with colleagues who were doing a campus connect. We received very hostile welcome. The political environment was charged. The students had been incited against us, that we don't mean well for them. See where we are today. All the pretense, we have restored Alawa, we've restored Alawa. Where is the restoration? You can't pay. So what do we want as a country? Do we want a situation where we are training enough, adequate numbers? Then we are also reserving resources for even quality training. During that period, if you check the number of labs we were able to construct, the number of assembly halls, dormitories, residential facilities, the ones we couldn't finish, do you know they have stalled? Go and check all the colleges of education. They've stalled. Then you also don't even have adequate resources after you've paid all these allowances to build hospitals for these trainees so that when they graduate, they have work to do. So where is vision? Where sometimes you need some bitter pills. You need some strategic thinking for our collective welfare. But the politics become so short-term, stomach direction, opportunistic politics. And that is what is killing us. Let me just conclude. My friend threw a pot shot. I know it was on a lighter note, that probably instead of spending on demonstrations, I should I should be spending. I heard it. I should be spending on health investments. I would like to invite you to my constituency. Have you heard of the Atamil surgical block? It's probably the most equipped surgical block in the Volta region.
I know what
if you
do.
Talk to your colleagues. Yeah.
I know what you do.
Yeah, in my constituency.
Donations from outside.
Yes, and,
I know.
Recently, the MEFA people have a new hospital, and I have ordered medical equipment from SOS, Louisville, Kentucky. It's on the high seas. You'll be arriving soon, in a few weeks. You know, if you go to the Bato Catholic Hospital, talk to your colleagues there. They don't joke with me at all.
Bato is,
the cervical cancer screening equipment there. I got it for them.
Okay.
When I became MP, will you believe that they didn't even have a single incubator in the whole constituency? All the incubators they have now, I provided. So before I go on any demonstration, I invest in healthcare.
But just before you come in, let me just read this one. So, Kojo Chumbafu says, as we speak, there isn't a functioning MRI at Kolebu. And yet we find $250 million to build a new Bank of Ghana headquarters and $10 million to build a new residence for the governor. Let me say a big thank you to Dr. Adumaku Kisi and his family for the work that they do and the lives they save. It's a pity his career as an MP was truncated because he chose to be truthful. His father saved my uncle's life many years ago. I've just made the connection because he's a spitting image of his dad. I hope your father is doing okay. In Tree, we say, Akwa pano kwarifu mo. Says, God bless you, whatever you do from hearing. Says, I know a returnee surgeon doctor from the UK who nearly left back to the UK because he was adjudged to have failed English in the GMC exam. Then, Mark Kojobuafu, and Doc, this one is a shot at you and your colleagues. He says, on the breakdown of hospital equipment, the Tanzanian president who died of COVID, when he was elected, visited a hospital and all the equipment had broken down. The doctors were referring patients to the private hospitals for scans, etc. He sacked the CEO and appointed a deputy as the CEO. He gave him 2 weeks to repair the broken down equipment. They were all repaired in 3 days. There was a connection between the doctors of the government hospitals and the private ones for financial gain. They intentionally do not repair the equipment so they can refer patients to the private ones. And I have about 4 messages along this line where people are accusing doctors of referring people to private facilities where they have interest in and all that. Now, it says, watching your show, and I want to understand why government will give nurses allowance, and after their studies, they are able to travel freely abroad and work. It means we've trained them for another country. No value for money. It says it's Sadiq. It says, as we speak now, my mates from Accra Academy, he mentions their year group, who are doctors, have finished, it says 2009, have finished taking their exams and waiting to join UK doctors. Nothing will change their minds. And
it's a crisis.
And listen to this one. My wife is a nurse. She left just last month. She received her first salary, which is equivalent to 24,000 Ghana. But in Ghana, she was receiving 3,000 cedis. Now, Adelaide, who's been in the healthcare system for a while, says, please tell the honorables to spend some of their campaign monies as donation to hospitals. God will then let them win. He says, we should commend Dr. Kisi Sr. and Honorable Junior because I can attest that they've been champions of fighting to make the healthcare service delivery better from my days at NHIA from 2010. I've had many conversations with both doctors on what is needed to make the sector better. They are very passionate. They can lament for hours, especially Senior, Dr. Senior, on this topic. We need to start listening to these experts. They foresaw these challenges coming, but we didn't give them the platform. So it's not to forget Dr. Edward Mahama. These fine men have excellent brains and ideas that we need to use for our collective benefit. Okay, all right. Okay, so we'll take a break at this point, but we're quite a pathetic lot. We're quite a pathetic lot, and I think that we keep abusing God's mercies. We're back shortly. Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Morning Ghana Live on Metro TV. Still with me on the show, I have Dr. Dixon Adumaku Kisi and Samuel Kujeto Ablakwa. Ayesoko, that could somebody be big, but Betway's cash out be bigger. Betway is giving you more control of every thrilling bet you place. Enjoy the biggest and most reliable cash out in Ghana on Betway without any hassle. Sign up today at betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. It's not for persons under 18 and is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more. And Blue Jeans energy drink has been on the Ghanaian market for over 20 years. We already know what it does for the body. It contains vitamins and nutrients like vitamin B2, B3, B6, B12, as well as taurine and guarana, which are known to boost your strength and energy, as well as promote high performance and endurance. Blue Jeans energy drink has been tested and tried. It's indeed the best. Blue Jeans energy drink is for bold and active men and women, so go on, grab a cold can and power your day. It's in shops nationwide, and you can reach Budget Cash and Carry Limited on 0208 128190 or 055 001 0000. All right. So, son of man, as usual, you've been in the news, and it looks like you have moved residence to my constituency. And you've joined us on the coast.
You are a landlord, so.
and you were in court this week as well.
Yes.
What happened in court? I was reading reports that I needed some clarity. You lost, you won. What happened?
Yes. So I was at the appeals court, and the appeal court case relates to the National Cathedral oversight I did, which emerged that Reverend Victor Kusi Boateng apparently had a second identity. We all now know the details. Different name, Kwabena Edu Jemfi, different date of birth, 2 years apart, different mother, different TIN, tax identification number, and he has a whole set of companies, about 12 companies under that Kwabena Edu Jemfi name, has another 12 under the Victor Kusi Boateng identity. I also subsequently discovered that he has secured a diplomatic passport in the name Kwabena Edu Jemfi, which is really shocking because he was appointed to the board as Reverend Victor Kusi Boateng. Recently, after a long drag, the foreign minister came to Parliament, responded to that question, and confirmed the unimpeachable work we did, confirmed that indeed they issued a diplomatic passport to Reverend Victor Kusi Boateng in the name Kwabena Edu Jemfi.
Did she give a reason why?
That it was for the National Cathedral work, and under the law, she has discretion to give passports. But for the name, she said for that one, she only received a request from the National Cathedral Secretariat to issue a passport, a diplomatic passport to Kwabena Edu Jemfi. And she didn't know that that person is the same as Reverend Victor Kusi Boateng. So she walked a fine line and escaped from Parliament. She didn't want to commit to the double identity scam. Now, you do know that after the expose, I went to Shraj on the 17th of January 2023. He then decided to take me to court on a number of grounds. So there are all kinds of court cases. There is a first contempt of court case, which is what he's appealing against. The one he went to court saying that I should be jailed. He doesn't want to fine, money for me, nothing. He wants me jailed for disrespecting what he calls his court documents, even though it's been clearly, if you read the judgment of the High Court judge, it's been clearly confirmed that those people who came to Metro TV were not bailiffs, and they had no business doing what they did. They should not have accosted me here. They should have gone through the speaker. The Constitution has outlined how members of Parliament are served. So they were rather cautioned that they should not engage in that kind of conduct, and they were damage was awarded against them. You recall at the time about 10,000 Ghana cedis. So it is that contempt when he's appealing.
Okay.
Then remember that he also went to the Human Rights Court, that I have violated his privacy by putting out his information on his passport, his Ghana card, his voter ID. Remember that he has 2 voter IDs in Victor Kusi Boateng, Kwabena Edu Jemfi. I intercepted all of that. So he went to the Human Rights Court that he has a right to privacy, his Ghana card, passport, all of that I have obtained and published, and it should not be allowed, and that I should be injuncted from further talking about him and further disclosing any information about him. He lost that one too. That was the second defeat he suffered. Indeed, interesting judgment. If you read that judgment, the judge says that, look, I don't even know who is before me now, whether it's Victor Kusi Boateng or Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi. So which of your identities has he, put out there and compromised? We can't be sure. And indeed, his lawyers were advised to give him good counsel, and the judge actually said that his conduct borders on criminality, not my words, the judge's words. Interestingly, he has appealed that one too. Then there's a third case, defamation, where he says, I have defamed him. That is also going on at the High Court. So he's deliberately kept me very busy, going to court virtually every week, sometimes on a daily basis in a week, on these matters. And what is most shocking is that more than a year of all of this abuse of the judicial process and legal harassment, he has never stepped in court once. Can you believe that? Not once.
He doesn't have to.
Not once.
He has legal representation.
Not once has he stepped in court. And yet I have to be in court always.
You understand some Ghana.
Yeah.
So the Ghans have a saying. It's a bini hande nyawo lenwe wo.
Yo, shishin. No problem. No problem. No problem.
Right.
Yeah, so no problem. No problem. No problem. Except that when Ghanaians vote for you as an MP to go to Parliament, they don't vote for you to go there to sleep. Ake ya ni oyawo. It is Yachuni. So that's all I'm doing. I don't know him from Adam. I'm only doing my work. Can you imagine when we saw that payment, 2.6 million from National Cathedral to JNS Talent Center Limited, owned by Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi? If we had not tried
that's what triggered
this whole thing. So it's only parliamentary oversight. Sometimes people talk as if there's something personal. I saw some press conference, they say I've targeted a particular part of the country and I'm pursuing them. I'm just doing my work. I was just, curious that 2.6 million to GNS Talent as contractors mobilization. How? I know the contractors, Rebade, which is a joint venture of Babisoti, Rizani, the Eka, and the Simone. So how does JNS come in? Why are they collecting our money? A diligent MP, you need to probe further. If not, one day, they'll say, you were all there, sleeping on the job. I'm a wall, parliament, So that's what opened this can of worms. So this week's appeal was on the contempt. Okay. Now, the grounds that his lawyers provided was that the judge erred, and they wanted that the appeal court should overturn that decision. They clearly want me to go to jail. He's not happy that I am free doing my work in Parliament. He really wants me jailed. No problem. It's in the hands of God. But the appeal court said that the grounds were not competent, they were not admissible, and also the grounds affronted the rules of court. So on these three grounds, they were struck out. So that's the third defeat that he has suffered. Now, our lawyers filed a preliminary objection. Because interestingly, last week, it was the Daily Post who broke the story that the panel that was going to hear this appeal, shockingly, in the last minute, the panel was reconstituted.
The chair of the panel was changed.
The chair of the panel was changed.
But
the most senior appeal court.
May I ask you a question?
Yeah.
In court, what is the case? Who against who? As for your name, I know.
Interesting.
I'm just curious to know.
Brilliant question. Brilliant question.
Because,
Brilliant question.
Is it the state against
they'll
you?
put
No.
both. They'll put
Brilliant
both.
question. So it is Kwabena Edu Jemfi.
AKA.
Kwabena Edu Jemfi versus Samuel Kudje Tobla. Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting.
All right.
Very interesting. so brilliant question. So whereas, meanwhile, he has an earlier case in court, I think against TV3, where he used Victor Kusi-Boateng. That is before the expose. He had always been using Victor Kusi-Boateng. But now it is Kwabena Edu Jemfi versus Samuel Kudje Tobla.
So you were telling us about the panel.
So the panel was reconstituted, rather, bizarrely. And so our lawyers raised a preliminary objection, which was really based on constitutional provisions that it violates our right to a fair trial. It raises issues about the impartiality because the replacement of the chair is the judicial secretary, who is under the direct control of the Chief Justice. And so concerns were raised by my lawyers, especially when our lawyers say that they have information that the Chief Justice has some proximity with Reverend Victor Kusi-Boateng, a spiritual advisor of a sort. In a rebuttal,
Is it verified?
In a rebuttal, Bobby Banson, the lawyer on the other side, Kusi-Boateng lawyer, said that even if they are church members, he introduced church membership. Even if she was the church member of Kusi-Boateng, it didn't stop her from carrying out her constitutional
Bobby Banson is the lawyer.
Is a lawyer for Kusi-Boateng.
So there's confirmation that she's a church member?
Well, Bobby Banson introduced that. He introduced that
okay.
in his rebuttal. My lawyer said a spiritual advisor.
Soon you're going to stop judges from going to church if you're not careful with it.
So the appeal court, the panel ruled that they will not buy that.
So your preliminary objection was thrown out?
It was thrown out.
All right.
But the main issue, which is the appeal on the contempt, the grounds have been struck out. But I know that as is consistent with their strategy, they will go back, they will file more appeals, file more cases. They clearly want to keep me hounded. And what is really striking about this whole development is that all the state institutions in our country are telling us that they haven't heard about this matter.
What do you mean?
Which of the state institutions? But the judiciary is handling your
How come that the Ghana Police Service, at the very least, despite formal petitions from civil society organizations, they have not invited Victor Kusi-Boateng.
Petitions about what?
About the double identity. It's the double identity crime. A high court judge has said that what you are doing borders on criminality. All our state institutions, Ghana Police Service, they haven't heard about this.
But we prosecute people with respect to acquisition of passports, fraudulent acquisition of passports.
Yes. Only a few weeks ago, our Kasua parliamentary candidate
Yes.
was held overnight because of the spelling error, which she didn't even write. She didn't utter.
I think one L instead of two L's.
Yes.
It's spelling her name.
Spelling her name. Can you believe that? Overnight. And Kusi-Boateng, Edu Jemfi, all these gymnastics, different IDs, diplomatic passport, they haven't invited him for 1 minute. He is such a free man. He calls the shots. He's linked to president, vice president, he's a spiritual advisor. And he's harassing a member of parliament, abusing the judicial process. If you arrived in Ghana today, you would think that I am rather the one who is a criminal who is under trial. Shocking. They won't invite him. No prosecution whatsoever. If it was me who have engaged in this conduct, will I be allowed? Now, Doc, there is a latest development on this matter. You know that I petitioned Shraj on the 17th of January 2023 And we have all been asking, how come Shraj is delaying? It's been more than 16 months. What is happening and all of that? Yesterday, I received this letter from Shraj.
Okay.
And the letter reads, Dear all, in the matter of the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice Act 1993, Act 456, and in the matter of a complaint of corruption, abuse of power, and controversy of Chapter 24 of the 1992 Constitution between Samuel Kujato Ablakwa, petitioner, and the Minister for Finance, Control Accountant General's Department, National Cathedral Board, Reverend Victor Kusibuating, a.k.a. Kwabena Edu Jemfi, JNS Talent Center Limited, Johannes Eshen, Sheila Eshen, who are the respondents. Update on case. We write in reference to the above titled matter before the Commission and to inform all parties that save for some information that the fifth respondent, JNS Talent Center Limited, is yet to provide the Commission investigations on all material issues. Is yet to provide the Commission. Investigations on all material issues have been concluded by the Commission.
Okay.
Please be additionally informed that the Commission is in the process of compiling its decision on the matter, whilst awaiting the additional information.
Completing or compiling?
It says compiling. It's in the process of compiling its decision on the matter. I think probably writing its report, putting everything together, of compiling its decision on the matter, whilst awaiting the additional information from the fifth respondent, and would communicate its decision thereafter when same is completed. Fifth respondent, that is JNS Talent Center, fifth respondent is informed that if the time given in the reminder to it to provide some specific information elapses, the Commission will proceed and conclude without it. The Commission appreciates the public interest character of this case and thanks all parties for the patience exercised so far, counting on your cooperation. And this is signed by Daniel Afechi, the Principal Registrar for the Commissioner. And the distribution list is attached. The Minister for Finance, Control Accountant General, the Chairperson, National Cathedral Board, Bobby Banson, Esquire, Solicitor for the 4th, 5th, and 6th respondent, and Thaddeus Sorry, Solicitor for the complainant. That is my lawyer. So that is the update. Clearly, it shows that it's JNS Talent Center Limited that has delayed Shraj's work, but Shraj has now given them a deadline. If they don't provide the information Shraj is requesting, they'll go ahead and give their final decision. I think that sometimes our institutions really drag these things. It's been more than a year and a half, but we are, however, reassured that Shraj is coming to an end of its mandate, and I hope that. Sometimes I hear criticism, they say that, the Northton MP is only happy to be in the media or to rush to social media. He does not invoke state institutions. And I wonder, are these people really following the matters that we raise? Every single matter we have raised, we go to various institutions, either in Parliament, I'll file a question, a motion. I'm interested in getting to the bottom of issues. Or I'll go to Shraj, depending on the nature of the concerns we are raising. So let's wait for the Shraj decision. I think that it will be really epic. It will be of huge interest to the people of this country. Shraj, you remember, dismissed their preliminary objection. They had raised issues of jurisdiction, whether I should even have gone to Shraj in the first place. But that they lost.
So in all of this, have you filed a police case?
Yes.
Where?
Yes. The headquarters. And then another civil society group, ASEPA, also went to the police, the headquarters.
But
yes.
Have you heard from the police?
No.
I would have thought that you file where the issue is. I mean, admittedly, it doesn't have to be at the headquarters. It has to be local, regional, then it goes to headquarters. That's just what I know.
No, but
so maybe by way of advice.
Please show me where to go. Show me which of the police stations.
No, I'm just saying
the Northton police station or where?
I was thinking that since
I thought the headquarters. You can go to any police station.
The
Cantonment police might be.
The NDC parliamentary candidates case. It started from headquarters and ended up at cantonments.
Cantonments, yes. She was held at cantonments overnight.
Because the passport issue was
They say
around,
one L. Even that the name was there. She hadn't changed her date of birth. She didn't say she had a different mother. She didn't have a different tin. She didn't have a different diplomatic passport. And they held her overnight. A lactating mother. What kind of justice are we pursuing in this country?
But it's been sorted out. Hello, Mimale.
We should watch it the way we are testing the patience.
Where are we on
citizens.
the...
On SNIT?
yes.
SNIT has gotten very murky.
I think he said a lot. Let me also
Please go on. Please
blow a little
Please
steam.
go on. Please go on.
Okay.
You know, there's only one thing I worry about sometimes with regards to Ablako's approach.
Right.
And I think he would hear me out a little bit. This is not necessarily adversarial, but I think that from a business standpoint, there are limitations in terms of the nitty-gritties of business transactions that necessarily have to come out. And what I mean by that is that certain deals that are even, let me say, correct, appropriate, and transactions that are done from a business standpoint are privileged information, let me put it that way, and as such are not necessarily to be made public. And I can cite the reason why different shareholders, based on their category, have access to certain levels of business dealings. And I can cite the likes of Berkshire Hathaway, where you have Class A, Class B stock holders, and Class B folks have different access, and Class A have different access. So I think that just by way of the right to information bill, it doesn't necessitate that businesses necessarily are supposed or legally required to then now put the game out, because the game is not to be sold. I mean, that is the lingua on the street. It's to be played but not to be sold. And I think that there's that thin line between necessarily trying to know every sentence that was discussed during the board meeting, or every nitty-gritty strategic documentation of a certain entity, and then what is appropriate. So I think that sometimes we need to balance it, because you would agree to the fact that, for instance, and not by any show of doing politics, but this Airbus issue, to some extent, there's always a limitation to what information all of us can be privy to. And by way of that, I can cite that recently Boeing's CEO was questioned, and even questioned about his $21 million salary or so in Congress. But there was a limit to the questioning and a limit to the in totals of the business dealings of Boeing, because of the fact that the questioning was in a public domain. And I've witnessed many instances where certain things are done behind closed doors for very important reasons of, one, corporate sanctity, two, the need to have in the bosom of the company some very key strategic information that necessarily must not be made public. After all, when you're trying to sell your business, and this business 101, or even a car, they say car sales are lemon. If your carburetor is fault, I doubt if you and I will tell the person we are selling to that, Charlie, everything is fine, but the carburetor is wrong. There's always something, that might be, wrong. I intend to maybe sell a Highlander. My engine is bad. I buy a new engine, put it in the car, air conditioning is not working. If you come and buy it, you go and fix it. So not everything necessarily is made known. Or when I spray it new, I'll tell you that is it had an accident at the fender, and I've sprayed it. I mean, these are sort of business as usual. So my biggest concern, because I'm unfortunately very pro-business, and I think that we need to respect the rights of businessmen in this country, and I also think that investors' privileges cannot be, just taken away, or very sensitive corporate details must not be necessarily disclosed out, because one, we might damage the process of the sale. Two, we might also hurt the corporation itself, and that is my only worry sometimes when I look at how this is going. Now, the other thing too is that sometimes we also take action not aware of the entire story, and I have been wrong on many things before. I mean, I personally always cite the bus branding issue, which I think even up till today was one of the most ridiculous things in this country in terms of the inquiry, and I think you can also admit that the bus branding literally to a large extent was much to do about nothing, and I would only plead that we don't keep parading and going back and forth about issues that really we should have limitations. If not, then every businessman necessarily would have to then put every sentence of their business transactions out, which isn't the case. Then how do you profit? I mean, if you buy tomatoes in Burkina at 2 Ghana cedis and you come and sell it at 5 Ghana cedis in Wa, and somebody wants to know every bit of your movement before they make a purchase, I think that takes away the businessness and the whole idea of being pro-private enterprise. And that is my worry, especially when it comes to some of your approach. Oversight is important, I agree, but even in oversight, there are limitations because, one, you're not necessarily an investor, unless, of course, I agree that Ghana tax money is all of us our money. But even in that, I've explained carefully that on a normal day in business, Class A stockholders are privy to more details than Class B and Class C. And this is standard world, dealings. So if you are pro-private enterprise, and all of us know that private enterprise is what is the backbone of many nations and still remains the source of employment for a lot of people. And government cannot do it all alone. And always will be better off in terms of efficiency, in terms of funding sources, to let a lot of things be private. So I love what you do, but I think sometimes we need to be mindful of that thin line between what is privileged information for, investor sake. I mean, our conferences that stockholders are invited to, and there are conferences that ordinary people will not be invited to because they don't have a stake in it. And that is where I'm a bit concerned in all of some of your dealings. And mind you that some of our actions also discourage investors looking to come to either acquire or purchase some of government enterprises. And I always say that if not for some of these private banks, my own bank, GCB, would have still had. I remember going to Kanishi, and in fact, not to this GCB, but it used to be where you'd see, elderly women doing banking, and these days it's a bit more exciting, to borrow from Rollins's vocabulary, to see finer, younger women serving you your money. When I was about 12 years and I would go to Kanesi Commercial Bank, the experience was not fun at all. Forgive those old women who were very nice to us, but, when EcoBank and the others changed and were hiring younger, active girls, I think it dawned on GCB that, hey, though we are, government, we also need to step up our game. And it has transformed, government banking. And I believe that there's always that need for competitiveness, for private enterprise, and I, like the MPP, will forever be very pro private enterprise. And I think that is my biggest concern, largely with some of the approaches you have, with your work.
Okay.
Well, I've heard you, Doc. Except that when you are dealing with public funds and they are public transactions, it has different rules. You see, we are talking about taxpayer funds, and the standards for accountability, for transparency are higher. It's not like it's an exclusive private transaction where all the parties are just using their own funds, private. That one, I would not go near. I'm not bothered. But once they move from the private arena and come into the public domain and they are engaged in public transactions, the rules are different. We are enjoined as members of parliament, who are the keepers of the purse, to make sure that before anything comes out of the purse, we have scrutinized. That's our constitutional mandate, and that we are sure that there is value for money. I'm not too sure what these limitations are when you are seeking to protect the public purse. All over the world, there is a greater edge and agitation for openness, for transparency, and for a very deepened accountability process. So I think that we should encourage more of that. If you have nothing to hide and you're a private entity coming into the public space to do public transactions, you should be happy that you are subjected to greater scrutiny. You will emerge squeaky clean if everything is above board, if there's no corruption, if there's no insider dealing, if you put up the best bid, financial, technical, and you've as the expertise, you've made a great case. Why not? We'll support you. Look, in this matter to do with SNET, we are talking about state assets. These hotels belong to you and I. It's not for the private sector. They are hotels that were constructed with our worker contributions. Labadi Beach Hotel, La Palm Royal, Elmina Beach, Ridge Royal, Buzia Beach, Trust Lodge. These are our hotels. They are state assets. You cannot dispose our interest in these hotels a colossal 60%, which means that we are going to lose our controlling stake. You cannot just go ahead and do it anyhow and do it without the consent, the transparency. Then there's even the fundamental issue, and that is why in my response to the board chair, the Honorable Elizabeth Ohene, in that write-up she did, first of all, it wasn't clear if she was speaking on behalf of the entire board or in a personal capacity, because we know that there are at least 4 board members who have said, the reps of Labour on the board, who have said that they objected to this. They said it should stop. And they were shocked.
Interestingly, the write-up did not address
that. It didn't address that. It didn't address that. And it didn't address the fundamental issues, the conflict of interest concerns. The write-up didn't address that. I mean, look, growing up, to be very honest with you, I admired the MPP advocacy on conflict of interest. I admired it. I remember from 1996, that is when I never knew there was any in Sawam Canary. I never knew of a company called Carry Them. I was really inspired how stalwarts of the MPP spoke eloquently about the dangers of conflict of interest.
But
to the extent that when the MPP came to power, they even lined up people who were engaged in that transaction, including the former First Lady Nana Konadu Ajima-Rawlings, and prosecuted them, Agbodo and others of the DIC. Conflict of interest. Made a huge meal out of conflict of interest. Suddenly, it's as if Okujato Ablako has gone crazy. We don't know what he's talking about. Conflict of interest. This President Akufo-Addo, check the records in Parliament, his public pronouncements. I mean, conflict of interest was a cornerstone. That is why I am glad that one of the outcomes of all of this, what is going on, is this coalition we have now, where we are working on a private members bill to ban all politicians, including NDC politicians, from buying state assets. The optics don't look good. They are horrible. And we've seen what is going on. They don't even subject themselves to the constitutional vetting process. The constitutional vetting process is that under Article 78, Article 98, if you are MP, if you are minister, subject yourself to the committee of members holding profit. They should check whether the transactions you are going to engage in, if there are conflict of interest concerns. If they clear you, then the speaker will give you a certificate.
I think
People are not complying with this. You know, so look, you'll be amazed how many of these transactions will stop once politicians and politically exposed persons don't go near.
No, I think not to cut you, but then almost no congressman will be, buying stocks in the U.S.
No, we're talking about state assets.
Saying,
no, I'm talking about state assets.
Yes, but
you can do your business, but buying stocks, that's not. You can buy your private sector stocks. You can buy stocks in Fannie Mae. You can buy stocks in
fact, I'm not sure. I'm not sure there'll be a problem if somebody goes to buy Tesla bonds.
Yeah.
You go and buy Tesla bonds or Dachi bonds.
Or Dachi bonds. Yeah.
Who has a problem with that?
You don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, we're talking about state assets. Now, what is emerging is that this whole SNIT hotel sale is murkier than we ever thought.
Tell me more.
We have always been told that the Honorable Brad Champon, his Rock City offer, was the highest.
Okay.
And that offer, the intercepted memos which I put out, I've published, his offer is $61 million.
No.
$61 million. That's the Brad Champon offer, $61 million. Even though, according to SNIT's own valuation, it should be $121 million for the 4 hotels.
SNIT disputes this.
Because I've seen another document.
I have the
No,
memos.
not the 61. They dispute
the 121 million. They are claiming $59 million, which is, and I'm glad that Shiraj is looking into this. And Shiraj has all the documents that are intercepted. We'll know the truth. And look, SNIT has been lying all the way, right from the beginning. You remember their 19th May statement, where they sought to create the impression that all these hotels are not doing well, they need profitability, efficiency, and all of that. Until I intercepted the Deloitte financial statements on Labadi, which proved that Labadi is so profitable. Then they started saying, oh, okay, it's only Labadi. So Labadi is profitable. Why are you selling it? And the board chair doesn't address that. What is the business case? What is the justification for selling a profitable hotel? Now, the point I was making, now the former MPP chairman has told us that his 33 or 34-year-old son, as he put it,
that's a hearsay.
He put in a bid of between $150 to $200 million.
Who said that?
Mr. Freddie Blay. Remember that one of the matters that I have put out. First, I revealed that they were behind the beachfront encroachment at Labadi Beach Hotel. Then I also later on revealed that they are not telling us, but they also put in a bid. Earlier, when he did the first interview, he said, oh, they are not interested in the hotel. And I had to expose that I have gone for the incorporation documents of all those who took part in the bid. Your son is the director of Spartan Ives. Spartan Ives put in a bid. They were one of the 6 shortlisted. So that's what then compelled him to say, well, we put in $150 to $200 million bid, but we were not. SNIT said they will give it to Rock City. Now, where does that put all of this claim that the Rock City bid was the highest bid?
I thought Rock City was 185.
No, it's 61. 61 million.
Is it confirmed?
Yes.
Because
yes.
I've seen another 61. Document where it was 185.
Even the SNIT statement
rather disputes the 121.
The SNIT statement confirms the $61 million, but they tried to dispute the $121 million
to make the point that it was at least $2 million
more than the valuation, which is not accurate. You know, so here we are. We have a murky situation. Freddie Blay is telling us that there was a much higher offer, you know, far higher than the $61 million from Rock City. Mm-hmm. Then, after I was dead by the Honorable Brian Champong, I had no option than to put out the filings at GRA. We now know that Rock City didn't file its annual tax returns in 2021 and 2022. So the question that arises...
It's not unusual.
Is where did they get their tax clearance certificate from? Because under the Ghana's Income Tax Act of 2015, when you bid for any public contract, public transaction, you must present, and it is a prerequisite.
Yeah, but there are many contracts without.
You must present a GRA tax clearance certificate. Now, we know that they couldn't have presented a valid tax clearance certificate because they filed their taxes later after my expose. Then they went to Shraj on the 23rd of May. They went to GRA, pardon me, on the 23rd of May to now file their tax returns. So
what year?
So what I have done, this year, May 2024.
No. Tax return for which year?
May 2024 for 2022, and then
But the bid was in 2020.
May 2023 for 2021. The bid was in 2022. Yes, in March 2022. In March 2022. Yes, that's a. It is you are confusing the selection of the transaction advisor. It's a transaction advisor which happened earlier in 2018, and that's what SEM Capital emerged as the transaction advisors, for which we are paying $491,000.
So things were not put in 2020.
No. And in 20,
because
even in 2020 he wouldn't have even qualified because if you look at what's SNIT advertised, they say you must have at least 3 years of having been in the space of operations, and Rock City started operations in 2019, so they qualified and they started paying taxes or started filing, I should say. They didn't really. It started filing in 2021. If you look at the GRA. Document I have.
That you have.
Yeah. So what I have done this week, Doc, is that based on the latest developments, I have filed an RTI request to SNIT dated 24th June 2024. Request for information pursuant to Article 21F of the 1992 Constitution and the Right to Information Act 2019, Act 989. I hereby request the following information. 1. Evidence that Rock City Hotel Limited with registration number CS 075262016 bid for SNIT's hotels compliant with the Income Tax Act 2015, Act 896, and SNIT's own pre-qualification criteria as advertised for project number GRSSNITCS0012022, which mandated all bidders to present a valid Ghana Revenue Authority tax clearance certificate. This request has become imperative considering that Rock City's record at GRA, which is now available to me, incontrovertibly confirms that Rock City did not file its annual tax returns in the fiscal years of 2021 and 2022. Indeed, Rock City's attempt to file their annual tax returns for the years in issue were carried out belatedly in 2023 and 2024 respectively, long after SNIT's advertised deadline of 23rd March 2022. The unimpeachable records also show that Rock City was fined an amount of 4,390 Ghana cedis by GRA as penalty for filing the 2022 tax returns 2 years late. That is on May 23, 2024. 2, in addition, I duly request for a copy of the tender evaluation report on the sale of SNIT's 60% share in Labadi Beach Hotel, La Palm Royal Beach Resort, Ridge Royal Hotel, Elmina Beach Resort, Buzia Beach Resort, and Trust Lodge Limited. 3, I hereby also request minutes of the evaluation committee meetings. I'm hopeful that this right to information request will receive lawful compliance and an expedited response to enable me continue with my constitutional mandate of parliamentary oversight. Kindly take note that I shall not hesitate to explore all legal options available to me under the Right to Information Act 2019, Act 989, if these requests are not granted within the legally stipulated time. Sincerely, Samuel Kudzeto Ablakwa, MP for North Town. So we are waiting for SNIT's response to this because particularly for the tender evaluation report and the minutes of the tender committee meetings, it's become even more crucial now with all the counterclaims. Whereas SNIT and other, government spokespersons are saying that the Rock City offer was $61 million, and that was the highest bid. We now have the former MPP chairman saying that
that's what I'm saying. That is hearsay.
What his son put in, much, much higher. So let's just get the facts. And you see, SNIT, I don't know why they are keeping so long. This thing has been going on for how many weeks? I would have thought that SNIT will have held a press conference and put out all the documents. If you have nothing to hide, put out all those who put in the tender. Put their tender documents out.
Well, this weekend they will be engaging some media personnel.
You see, they've been doing these things.
They'll provide some information to them. So let's expect that from Monday. Well, perhaps we'll find some information in there.
Now, let me conclude on the much anticipated meeting of the president and organized labor, which took place on the 25th.
So they've met?
They have met.
That's on Tuesday?
Yes, on Tuesday. Tuesday evening, they met. The meeting started at 4 p.m. It went deep into the night. Organized labor is shocked at the attempt by the president to defend this transaction.
Really?
And to refuse to step in and stop it. Everybody is shocked. So that is why after the meeting, I put out a post that I am now convinced that President Akufo-Addo is the chief architect of the ongoing state capture.
Oh,
why?
Chief architect.
How do you
he
say that?
He is. Look.
What makes
this is a matter that immediately, look at the scandals surrounding this matter.
Where are the scandals? I mean, that's where I'm a bit,
the conflict of interest, the violations of Article 78, violations of Article 98.
No, you have to be clear.
Why are you selling a profitable hotel? And organized labor, organized labor has said that this transaction, they don't agree
so
with.
there shouldn't ever be corporate takeovers.
Look at the corporate.
Because you are making profit.
Can I conclude?
No, I'm just so that one is not an argument.
Look at the breach of our procurement laws. The breach of the Income Tax Act. The uproar. Look, everybody who has spoken on this matter, from civil society, academia, organized labor, the chiefs. When was the last time you saw chiefs leading a demonstration? Did you see the thousands who poured out?
I am even wondering, and please, let me ask you that question carefully. I have serious respect for our chiefs, but just curious. Once government owns the land, because I believe that is government land at the moment.
Which land?
The hotels, right? I'm curious.
It's not government land.
The La General. La Badi.
If it is,
I'm curious.
If it is government land, why did the Blay family not come to government? Why are they saying they went to see La Traditional Council to take over the beachfront?
Asking you.
It's not
it's not the beachfront I'm talking about. I'm talking about the hotel.
It's not government land.
It's not.
It's not.
Okay. I was just curious.
It's not.
Yeah.
And don't waste in the case of the Blay family.
Can I ask?
So look, Doc. This president, he has been such a glorious opportunity. And look, I would have thought.
Glorious opportunity.
To step in and stop this rot.
He doesn't think there's a need to do that.
You see, this,
he doesn't agree with you. He doesn't agree with organized labor.
This African president.
Doesn't he have the right to
These African presidents are not learning. This same week, look at what has happened in Kenya. President Ruto said, oh, those demonstrating, you saw his first press conference, they are criminals, they are armed robbers, we won't listen to you, go to hell. He underestimated the power of the masses. Few days later, after he has killed 23 people, he is now begging and say, oh, I've withdrawn the finance bill. Oh, forgive me. We are even going to cut our salaries of the judiciary, the executive, the legislature.
Did he say salaries?
Yes, he says that they'll review their conditions of service. Because the people are saying it's your expenditure. You know, Kenyan politicians are the best paid in the world. They're amongst the best paid. The whole of Africa, they laugh at us, our MP salary.
That's true.
Kenyan MPs, no joke. What even their assistants get is more than thrice what we
get. They even have underground tunnels to escape through.
Yeah. You know, and look at the food that was there for them that the young people had to feast on. And look, these presidents are not learning.
That's all you saw.
They are not learning.
The food that the guys.
Why do African presidents keep underestimating the power of the masses?
Let me learn to manage my
anger
time.
of the people.
Let's go. It's okay.
I mean, it's more shocking. Look, Doc, have you followed the other exposés I've put out on state capture? Are you aware the Parks and Gardens land is going? Are you aware? They were at work. They were at work a few weeks ago.
The one around Wyek?
Yes. Okay. 10.8 acres. Okay. Even the colonialists on 2nd October 1952 knew that we will need a green belt. We will need to, Ghana should not become a concrete jungle.
They've sold it.
Some, and again, these reverend ministers, with all respect to our reverend ministers, a reverend minister called Reverend Ezekiel shows up.
Reverend what?
Ezekiel.
Okay.
That he's the new owner. He represents Danny Ike.
Who's who?
Danny Ike Real Estate Development Limited. And he even has the nerve to drag them to court. He sent them to court.
Okay.
That he wants it.
Ezekiel in the Old Testament.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Reverend Ezekiel. Can you believe that? Okay. Then Boster Institute Lands, the vice president senior advisor, is also in a major legal fight.
That's by Jack and Jill.
Jack and Jill. Okay. It's also gone. He sent national security operatives to break the wall. But I salute the Ghana Prison Service. They are fighting tooth and nail to protect their land. So they are the appeal court.
Hey.
I mean, same government. All appointees of President Akufo-Addo. There is no adult, no more Beshia. No adult in the room. Same government.
Right.
Parks and Gardens land at Wa is gone. I put out a
section.
Yes. The regional minister, regional head of RECSEC, he thought that he's intervening, he's moving to stop the encroachment, only to get a letter from the Lands Commissioner, hey, regional minister, back off.
We have sold.
We have sold. Just back off. The people who have legal titles, please stay in your office. Can you believe that? What is happening in this country? Yeah, what?
Okay.
What is happening in this country? Okay. You know the barracks, prisons barracks, at the Osu roundabout. Yeah. Under a so-called PPP arrangement. They are preparing to move out. The prison and the junior ranks are so furious.
All right.
I mean, what's happening in this country? Total state capture. And the president will...
We're just preparing for the rapture.
The president should wait for... The Central Region chiefs have called us. They say they want a bigger showdown than the Accra one. Right. So, yes, that will be phase 2 of hands off. Yeah, for Elmina and Ridge Royal. Hands off. Since the president doesn't want to listen.
But in your previous role as a preacher of the gospel,
yes,
I'm sure that you are fully aware of the second coming of Christ.
Yes, okay. But there was no timeline.
Since you become a politician, you have lost the gift of prophecy and everything. You've lost it.
I don't get it. No.
Okay. So the others who have seen that rapture is just around the corner.
Yeah. You mean the end of the world?
So they will carry all these lands to the rapture. All must go. They didn't read the Bible that says that what shall it profit a man? He told that rich man, you fool. Tomorrow your soul will be requested.
What will be the use if Christ is coming tomorrow?
That you are amassing in the Bible. You are amassing all this wealth.
This is headline.
You fool.
Preacher.
You fool. You don't know that you don't control your soul. That tomorrow your soul shall be requested from your hand. The more reason, if we are conscious of rapture, we will stop all this amassing, all this accumulation. We will stop it. If we are really Christians concerned about our soul, what shall it profit a man if he gains the whole world and lose his own soul?
What shall it profit a man?
What shall it profit a man?
To build a cathedral.
What shall it profit a man?
To build a cathedral.
A corrupt cathedral, $58.1 million. No value for money.
I said
Up next,
cathedral.
GMG Trends. Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Time to check out what is trending with a man, the exclusives man. He's here with us. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Hope you're doing well.
By the special grace of God.
I was enjoying the conversation. You know, the funny thing, so when Kenya's president, Ruto, said that they were withdrawing from declining from signing the financial bill in Parliament.
Yes.
You know that interestingly, according to what I'm picking from our colleague journalists in Kenya, it's only for 21 days.
You've done what?
It's only for 21 days.
I don't understand.
Okay. So apparently, government itself in their caucus meeting are deciding to just say we are declining for 21 days to cool down nerves, and they'll talk about it again in Parliament.
Oh, you can't.
Yes. You see what I'm
As
getting?
for Parliament, it has approved it.
Yes. They left him
It's
to
left
sign.
with his signature. That's what he says he won't do.
You see, but it's about time.
But the guys are not satisfied. They say he must go now, so they are escalating it.
I just hope it doesn't happen here in Ghana.
But you see the ages of those who have died between 17 and 19.
Gen Zs,
Yeah.
hungry. They are hungry for things to be done right. It reminds me of the face of the country. You know, when it started, it was just young people. Kali J was now out of the university, very young. And it happened, but then later it became political, so he had to just lay back. Anyways, I'm excited this morning to basketball lovers. You know, LeBron James has been, I've been waiting. No, he spoke about the fact that he wanted to play with his son before he retires. And just yesterday, they were doing the drafting. And his son got drafted by Lakers.
Whoa.
Can you imagine? There's like a beautiful legacy being done right there. Yes, right now. Bronny will play with LeBron come this season. I'm excited about that. Absolutely excited. Yes, I've been waiting. I have a feeling there's a reason why he hasn't retired.
That's history
Yes.
right there.
The first time having father and son play together simultaneously. That's good. But another thing too is that, you know, Twitter pays you money when you have always retweets and messages and all that. You are paid by Twitter. Instagram does same. TikTok does same. Finally, Facebook is going to pay people who have, you know, masses, the likes and viewers and all that. And so what Maya just posted is just this morning. He said Facebook monetization is finally in Ghana. Create page today and thank me later. And so yes, it's not just Ghana, Nigeria.
Okay.
You know, so right now, if you have a huge following on Facebook and your videos are being watched, you get to be paid. People are making a lot of money. Kai Harvard just bought a house and a car just 2 months ago.
Okay.
Lambo, not just in a car, but a Lambo, with his money from YouTube streams.
Okay.
So yes, maybe I might just.
So more money for Good Morning Ghana.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because the views on Good Morning Ghana is something else. So I know that.
We thank our audience.
Yes, amazing audience you have.
Yeah.
Some time ago, the day I came to do trends and I was somewhere, you know, so, somebody saw me there. I was like, we have been watching Good Morning Ghana. Like, hey, relax. relax. I don't have anything. Relax. Relax a lot. But tomorrow is 29th.
Yes.
The big day for Desmond. Kreku Danso. Yes, the big day for the man. Forever Danso. So we are all going there. You know, we are all going there.
Where's
to
that
make sure.
video, cry?
You're going to tell Kumasi upside down. Yes, we are coming on numbers. It's going to be a very long day tomorrow. And so if you're in Kumasi, maybe you never know. Might have bodyguards at the gates. You never know.
Oh, nobody got.
Oh, we might have bodyguards. Because no, this one is a celebrity. You know, and the number of ladies who might come in.
Is a people's man.
Yes.
He's a man of the masses.
And I'm wondering how many hats got broken when the flag came out for the wedding. So maybe tomorrow he might need somebody got at the gate to make sure that thing happens. But yes, it's Friday and I didn't bore you so much. This is just some of the big stories out there this morning. Yeah, and Occupy the presidency is still trending. You know, the young people are still related to what is happening in Kenya. So
Yes.
that could happen here in Ghana. Yes, and so we just have to be careful. Governments, be careful what you're playing with us and all that.
I see.
Yes.
I see. Ah, the video is here.
Yes, this is it. Love not catch you before. See, the smiling is different. It's not the usual smiles.
Is that the Broken Heart started from Ignite Media?
I have no idea what
That's where the
talking
Broken
about.
Heart started from.
Okay, I'm not here. I don't be
But
wrong.
that's what I heard.
That's what you heard.
I heard at the car
Okay.
park.
Okay.
That's what I heard at the car park.
Broken Hearts.
Whether it's true or not, I don't know.
Okay, I also don't know. I have no idea about it. But I think we can just
Annie
say.
told me.
And Annie has information.
Yeah, she told me.
Okay, I think I'll have to go next year because I have no idea what is happening in there. I'm just happy for the young man, you know, taking
So
after his.
that's why he had to take an early leave. Oh, forever
Oh
dancing.
my goodness. Yes.
All right. So tomorrow, all roads will lead to Kumasi.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been to Kumasi just once
In your life.
in my life. Just once.
Yeah.
Yes. Even that I was in the room for the entire week.
Oh, then you missed a lot.
Yeah. Yes. So, dog. Yes. You're really excited about this. Your smiles are really here.
I'm happy for him
Okay.
because he is happy. At least that's the impression he gave me. That he's happy, and I believe that he's happy.
That's the impression he gives that he's happy.
Yeah. So
But you don't believe he's happy?
I believe he's happy.
Okay. All right.
But like they say, obi odwan ayira no obi nkwan wa
Yeah, you did. But dog, how long have you been married?
I've even forgotten.
Okay, because I wonder how, you know,
You have done what, 1 year?
Not even 1 year.
Oh, yeah.
August 29th will be 1 year.
So you've done like 7 months.
And yeah, like,
7 months.
you know, like I think, 10 months.
10 months.
Yeah.
And now it's Fusaro. It's a cycle, don't worry.
No,
Utu
I
no
know.
Fusaro, bedroom baby that for the Sakura. Anyway, so that'll be it for the week. Thanks for joining us on the show.